In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to find career fields that are going to bring in financial prosperity and also career fields that might bring in issues with finances that could be debt or just struggling to really get ahead in that career field. And by doing this, you can look at certain indicators in your chart, certain aspects. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is pulling up your birth chart. Of course, I am using cafeastrology.com. It's really accessible to anyone watching this, and also it's very easy to use, especially if you're a beginner in astrology. It makes the aspects very apparent and just straightforward. Also, I am using an example chart of a follower on Instagram who supplied me with her birth information so I could use her chart as an example. So we're first going to look at the planets. And the reason we're going to look at the planets first is because the planets are actually associated with certain career fields. So this is going to be how you know what career fields are good for you or not. The sun brings in career fields that have to do with entertainment, any type of leadership or management roles, also any type of careers that have to do with working with children, and even hobbies and side jobs where you're actually making money from it. If you're making a conjunction between your sun and like your second house cusp, or you have your sun with Venus or something along those lines, like a strong aspect, like a conjunction, you could probably turn your hobbies, or you can turn something that you do for fun into an actual paying job. So the moon is going to rule over career fields that have to do with the home. This could be real estate, interior design, architecture, anything to do with the home, even things that are related to the home, such as food. So it could be a restaurant worker, restaurant owner, caterer, chef, someone who's working directly with food. Also anything to do with planning and management. So that could be, again, maybe an event planner, or that could also be a wedding planner, something along those lines. Next is Mercury. So Mercury is the planet of communication. It rules over Gemini, and it also rules over Virgo. So Gemini, very communicative, very much a talker, someone who likes to get their point across, someone who likes to have conversations about things. So this could be maybe a person who goes into teaching. So Mercury-like career fields are going to be something like teaching, journalism, writing. Also maybe, now because it also does have an association with, now because also it does rule over Virgo, this is going to be career fields that have to do with health as well. So this could be personal trainer or nutritionist or dietitian. Now you are going to skip over Venus for this, and I'll explain why later. Next is Mars career fields. Career fields are going to be about physical activity. This could be like bodybuilder, military, someone who's very physically active on a daily basis, or fall under this, but also creation and physically creating something with your hands. So this could be someone who is an engineer. Now also it does have to do with entertainment, specifically physical entertainment. So that could be maybe like a dancer, someone who is being very physically active while entertaining. Next is Jupiter. Jupiter associates with career fields that have to do with traveling, has to do with teaching. So anything that falls into that would definitely be a Jupiter-like career field. That could be a traveling nurse, that could be a pilot, someone who works on an airplane in general. Also a person who has to travel a lot for work. Also, it could also be a teacher, a professor, motivational speaker, and anything to do with religious matters. That could be becoming a pastor, a priest, working in some type of religion in general. Next is Saturn. Okay, so Saturn likes discipline, so definitely any career fields that require a lot of discipline. This could be something like career fields that require a lot of hard work, like construction worker, carpenter, something along those lines. Also, this has to do with business, be owning your own business, and politics or government. So working for the government and working in politics to some degree would definitely be a Saturn-like career field. Now, Uranus. Uranus is associated with career fields of modern times. So this is like technology, robotics, also anything to do with the sky. So astrology, aeronautics, aviation, aerospace engineer, as well as anything that has to do with community or organization in community, or like community planning, community events, working in organizations to better maybe the world in some type of way, would definitely be a Uranus-like career field. Next is Neptune. Neptune has to do with mental health and also the psyche and spirituality. So this could be career fields that is like mental health counselor, psychiatrist, psychologist, also a person who works maybe in the spiritual field. It could be someone who works as a psychic or spiritual practitioner. It could also be someone who works directly with drugs. So that could be like a pharmacist or someone who prescribes medication. Next is Pluto. So Pluto rules over Scorpio. So Pluto rules over Scorpio, which rules over the 8th house, which has a lot to do with sex and debts, as well as the occult, things that are hidden, because Pluto is the Roman god of the underworld. So basically things that are hiding beneath the surface that not everyone might be seeing. So this could be sex work with debt. That could be debt collector, working with money directly. That could be an accountant working in a bank. Also anything to do with the occult or spirituality. Also detective work, again, trying to find out what is going on beneath the surface, trying to solve some type of mystery. And anything to do with healing or rehabilitation. That could be working in a rehab center or working in spiritual healing or religious healing, something along those lines. Now that you know the career fields that these planets are associated with, the way that you're going to be able to tell if those particular career fields associated with those planets work for you is how they're aspecting your second house cusp. We're going to look at the second house cusp first, because the second house cusp is ruled by Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. Typically split into two categories, love and money, and Taurus, or the second house, is definitely the money aspect of Venus. So we're going to be looking at the second house cusp, the house of wealth and financial matters, material things. So you want for a career field to be beneficial for you, or to be very powerful in regards to bringing financial prosperity, maybe promotional opportunities, or really getting yourself ahead in that career field. You want conjunctions, trines, or sextile. Sextile is somewhere in the middle, but definitely conjunction and trine is right at the top. So the way that you can tell if any planet is making a conjunction to your second house cusp is if that planet is in the same sign and within close degrees, but anywhere you get closer to a 0-degree difference, that's where the aspect becomes stronger and more powerful. So the second house cusp here in this particular chart is in Virgo at 23 degrees. We do see that she does have her moon in Virgo at 29 degrees, so it's a 6-degree difference, but it's still an aspect there that is valid, and you can see that moon-like career fields would really be beneficial for her. Also, you want to look at the 10th house cusp, the midheaven, because the 10th house has to do with career and public recognition in that particular career. And because she does have her moon in Virgo, which is earth sign, and her midheaven in Taurus, which is also an earth, it means that these 2 points in her chart actually trine each other. So trine aspects are very positive. It creates this easiness and stress-free type of career field for her. And this is actually a 4-degree difference, so it's a bit of a tighter orb or more powerful aspect here. So I would definitely recommend moonlight career fields for her. Now, when it comes to sextiles are typically going to be like water and earth. So basically signs that are 2 signs apart from each other. So for example, Virgo is actually opposite of Pisces, so you do need to know the signs that are opposite of each other. But if she had anything like Scorpio right here, it's not close enough in a degree distance for me to say that these sextile each other. But let's say Scorpio, her Pluto and Scorpio was at 23 degrees. That would be a very close cell. And like I said, sextiles are somewhere in the middle. Definitely conjunctions and trines are a little bit better, but sextiles are not bad at all. Now, oppositions, whenever you have a planet making an opposition to the second house cusp, that's not as harsh as a square. Whenever you see oppositions in astrology, it's about bringing those 2 points together, but it can be very difficult at first and requires a lot of work and patience. So it can have a positive ending or positive result. It just requires a lot of patience at first. So again, Pisces is the opposite sign of Virgo. So we would look for any planets in Pisces. She has her sun in Pisces, but again, it's not in a close enough aspect for it to be in opposition. Like I said, within 6 degrees is best. So next is square. Square would be any planet that is in the same type of sign. In this case, Virgo is a mutable sign, so we would look for any other mutable signs that are not opposites. So we would cross out Pisces, so any other mutable sign would be Gemini and Sagittarius. So We don't have any Gemini or Sagittarius here, so there are no squares. Because trines are planets that are in the same element, I do see here that her Mars in Taurus does make a trine to her second house cusp, and it does make a conjunction to her midheaven. Same thing with Jupiter. Now Capricorn, even Capricorn would trine Virgo if it was in a closer degree difference, but in this case it's not, as well as her midheaven in Taurus 24 degrees. So right now, Moon, Mars, and Jupiter are the best type of jobs for her, or the type of career fields for her. However, with the Venus aspects, you want to look at Venus as well, because like I said, Venus rules over the money matters, and you can see that her Venus is squaring Mars and Jupiter. So again, squares create harshness, it creates struggle and delays. So I would actually cross off Jupiter and Mars for her, just for the financial aspect. When I do career readings, I go a lot more in depth, where I want to make sure that not only are these careers going to bring prosperity, but they also bring emotional fulfillment. In this case, for this particular video, I'm just showing you the financial aspect, but when it comes to finances, I wouldn't recommend Mars or Jupiter. I would recommend Moon career fields for her. Okay, so next I'm going to be showing you another example. This is my chart, and I'm showing you this example because with the other chart that I was just showing you, I have no idea what she does for work or what she might be aspiring to be. So that was more so like the type of way I would go about a reading. For this though, I can show you how accurate this method is, because of course this is my chart. I know what I'm doing for work right now. So you do see here that with my second house cusp in Capricorn at 28 degrees, makes a really strong conjunction to my Neptune in 29 degrees. I do work in the mental health field, and also you want to check for Jupiter too, because wherever Jupiter touches in your chart, it tends to bring success and blessings in that particular area. So whatever sign or house Jupiter is in your chart is expanding, and if you align yourself with that energy, it can definitely bring you a lot of success. So in this case, Aquarius, Jupiter in Aquarius. Aquarius likes to have as much of a reach on people as possible, reaching as many people as possible, and of course with the Jupiter influence here, Jupiter has a lot to do with teaching, so this could be reaching people through teaching. Now you also do want to look for Venus aspects. Not everyone has Venus aspects, and not everyone has aspects that their planets are making to their second or 10th house cusp. So you want to check both in order to give you the full picture, and you'll see here like the Sun making an aspect to Venus, Venus making aspects to other planets, and this will just give you a little bit more of an inside look to really what's going to be the best career field for you. Now, if you do have aspects that your planets are making to the second house cusp and the 10th house cusp, as well as Venus aspects, and you want to choose which one is a little bit more powerful, definitely the planets making aspects to your house cusps are going to be more powerful than Venus aspects in regards to this method. Okay, so if anyone has any questions about this particular video or this method in astrology, just leave that down in the comments. If you like this video, subscribe and leave a thumbs up. I will be posting more videos on astrology and spirituality.